So this team beats the Sabres in their last game 4-1, and I'm kind of starting to feel a little bit better about their chances of making the playoffs, but then they do this today. I think after this game, I don't think I can be frustrated anymore with this team because it's just funny how the first time they made it into that wild card spot, you can tell it is very, very obvious they have taken their foot off the pedal. Um, I don't know. It's like they're playing like they're already guaranteed a playoff spot. Newsflash, they are not. Um, this was awful today. Now, when you look at the shot totals, you would think, oh, the Sens played pretty well. They outshot Minnesota kind of badly, actually. But there were not a lot of great chances. And again, there was just not a lot of emotion, not a lot of hitting until after the final horn. Then they started to rough it up a little bit. That's kind of pointless at that point. Uh, I don't understand. Like the best answer I can come up with is they look tired. They just look tired. Like I saw some posts on Twitter saying that it looks like they're coming off like back-to-back games or stuff like that. Like they just played last night. They didn't. They just look exhausted, and it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're tired, then you're not going to perform as well with anything in life, and it's pretty freaking noticeable because we're very well aware of all the injuries they have on their back end. Now, they do get Sanderson back tonight. It didn't really help them that much, did it? But yeah, I don't know. There's 5 games left. The Red Wings did lose today as well, which does them a favor, but I can't see them making it playing like this. Like there's no way. They are what is it like they've one win in their last 4 or 5 games now. Like they're playing terribly, and yeah, again, they beat Buffalo in their last game, but they probably got a little bit fortunate. But anyways, we'll go ahead and go through my notes. There was no watch party for the game today. So, Game 76 of the season was played on Saturday, April 4th against the Minnesota Wild. It was a 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern start time. This is the second and final meeting of the season between these two teams, and Minnesota won both. So, there you go. The Sens get swept by the Wild. No shame in that. I mean, Minnesota is a good team, but still. So starting goalies were Linus Ullmark for the Sens and Jesper Wallstedt for the Wild. The Sens were 39, 26, and 10 coming into today, and the Wild were 42, 21, and 12 coming into today. And it's funny to think about. Like, sports can be a funny thing. Like, you look at the game against Florida, nothing is going to top that. Florida has nothing to play for, no pressure, they're not making the playoffs, and the Sens are fighting for a playoff spot, they get shellacked, right? Well, then you look at today, Minnesota is locked up in that third position in the division, so they don't really have a whole lot to play for either, right? And again, the Sens are still fighting for a playoff spot, but you wouldn't know that based off it's just not good enough for me, man. There's not enough emotion, there's not enough hitting. I don't get it. And when we get into the stats, you'll see the shot count. The shot count is deceiving today. I'm just going to say that right now. So, going to throw that out there. So as mentioned, Sanderson did come back. They actually went 8-4-1 without him. So, there you go. And then he comes back and they lose. So figure that one out. Also, Clevin did not play today. So it's like they get one back and they lose another one. This is just a never-ending thing at this point with this team. So, yeah, we're gonna go through the stats and we'll talk about it and just I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna beat anyone playing like this. Alright, so let's take a look at the stats for today's game. So the Sens fall to the Wild by a score of 4-1. The Wild are now 43, 21, and 12. The Sens fall to 39, 27, and 10. And the shots are very deceiving, let me tell you. So the Sens outshoot them 34-23, but it did not feel like it at all. Like, they didn't have very many good chances. 34 shots, it's great that they're shooting, but how many of them were really great chances, right? And you look at, the fact that Minnesota scored 4 goals, oh, it could have been worse. Like, just I know I keep bringing this up, but all their defensemen are playing more than what they're used to, and you are seeing a lot of mistakes with this blue line. It is really tough to watch, let me tell you. But yeah, that stat's very deceiving, so don't look into that too much. So face-off percentage, the Sens take 58.3% of the face-offs, didn't matter as usual. 41.7% for the Wild. Power plays, Wild go 0 for 1, Sens go 0 for 2. Penalty minutes were 16 to 14, with the Wild having the most. Wild out-hit the Sens 30 to 18, and they also get more block shots, 13 to 11. 14 giveaways for the Sens, 11 by the Wild, and the Sens lead in takeaways 6 to 5. And as mentioned, this was the final meeting of the season between these two teams, so we do not see them again until next year. Thank God, because they went 0-2 against them. So we'll go ahead and go through my notes. Again, there was no watch party tonight, so I do have notes. So we start off the game. The shots are 1-1 a little over 3 minutes in. Hartman gets a shot, and then Ullmark stops the rebound on Kaprizov. Really good save by Ullmark there. Shots are 6-4 Ottawa at the first commercial break, and we're a little over 6 minutes into the game. Pretty good pace to start this one, I thought. Not really a ton of whistles. Sens are out shooting them. Pretty good pace. We're not feeling too bad. Then there was a knee-on-knee hit. Matt took a knee-on-knee hit, and he went off slowly, and we're just holding our breath at this point because the Sens defensemen continue to drop like flies, but he would stay in the game. Thank the Lord. But it's like, holy cow, dude, we know this team is hexed. That's been established, but he would stay in the game. So Pinto would have a shot that would nick off the crossbar. Good chance for him there. Stays out. And then Brodin would have a shot that was stopped, and then the rebound bounces off of, guess who, Matt Paolo, and it goes in. So kind of a brutal start to this game for Matt Paolo. He had a rough day today, but it's a fluke of a goal. You know, Brodin takes a shot, the rebound goes off Matt Paolo, bounces in. And I say it all the time, right? Like, I'm not going to say the Sens don't care, because I don't think that's not true. I don't think it's true, but you can only do so much when you're tired, and they do look tired, right? But at the same time, I always say you're not going to get rewarded if you don't put the effort in, right? And this kind of proves it. So the Wild score 1-0 at the 9:45 mark. Brodin scores from Tarasenko and Spurgeon, and the Wild go up 1-0. So then, shortly after that, Kaprizov would have a shot go off the post, so it could have easily been 2-0 there. Eric Sinek would take a penalty for holding. I literally did not care. I don't want this team to get any more power plays. Their power play sucks. It is bad. They don't want to shoot. They continue to pass it around. They pass it until they give it away, and they might give up a breakaway or two or an odd man rush. That's okay, right? But this power play is god awful. I don't know what their problem is. I really don't. They don't want to shoot, and when they do, it gets blocked. So I don't know. They get 2 shots on their power play, but they don't score. As you can see, they go 0 for 2 because why would they score on their power play? That's crazy talk. And then this is just another prime example of the defenseman playing too much. Spence would make a brutal, and I mean brutal, turnover at the blue line. This leads to a 2-0 for Minnesota, and Hartman scores. Like, I will say Spence has been playing pretty well lately considering how much he's been playing, but that was a brutal turnover, and this ends up being the game winner. There's no chance for Ullmark here. It's a 2-0, it's a pass across. What the heck's he supposed to do there? But the fact that it was Hartman that scored, isn't that just lovely, right? Just lovely. So yeah, Hartman scores at the 15:35 mark from Zuccarello. It's 2-0 Wild, and well, that was basically game over at that point. So Minnesota has 2 goals on their first 7 shots. This is what we're used to seeing, right? Just bad goaltending. However, I don't really blame Ullmark too much on the 2 goals. I mean, the 2-0, what are you supposed to do there? And the first goal was it was a fluke. It was a bounce off your own defenseman. So I don't really blame him much on the 2 goals, but still, 2 goals on 7 shots is 2 goals on 7 shots. Not good. Oh boy. So the Sens would have a shot that was stopped, and then it sat. It would sit in the crease for a second, but it was cleared away. Just like, nah, they're not gonna get this. So then, I'm gonna ramble a little bit here about the captain in a second. So Kachuk would take a high stick in the face. He didn't get hit in the face. He never did. He embellished it, but he draws a penalty. So the Sens go to the power play. They don't score, obviously. As you can see, they were 0 for 2. But oh man, I need to rant about the captain a little bit here. I'm not loving his body language lately. I'm really not. He just seems so slow, and he got fined the other day, and he might get fined again because of this embellishment. Players can't get fined for embellishing. Now, I mean, NHL players getting fined, I'm sure it's not going to affect them that much, but the point is, this is the captain. He shouldn't be doing this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? He's been driving me crazy lately. Now, he does end up with like 10 billion shots tonight, but how many of them were good chances? I like that he's shooting, yes, but. And my dad said the same thing. Like, I was watching the game today with my dad. He said the exact same thing about Kachuk. He doesn't like his body language. It's all you gotta do is watch the game. Like, it's anybody would say the same thing. Um, I don't know. There's just these really silly things he does. Again, like he embellishes the high stick. This is the captain. Stop it. Stop it. Anyways, the Sens go to the power play. So that would carry over into the second period. So the shots in the first period, it's deceiving. The shots were 14-8 for the Sens, but they're down 2-0. The Sens really didn't have any great chances outside of the maybe the Pinto shot that went off the crossbar. That's about it, right? And I guess that one that was sitting in the crease. But I say it all the time: if you don't put in the effort, then you're not going to get rewarded. And tonight was a prime example. I keep saying tonight, but today. Hey, you know what I mean. Same thing. All right. Anyways, yeah. So we roll on to the second period, and the Sens start with a power play. They don't score on it. Obviously, why would they? They do get 2 shots on that power play. There was a Dylan Cousins shot that was blocked. It leads to a breakaway, shorthanded. This was stopped by Allmark. This is what I mean, right? And I put in my notes, the power play just sucks. It's terrible. It's awful. I'm shocked that I think they have the 4th best home power play this season. I don't know how. I have no clue how. It's gonna go down in a hurry after this, but it's just so bad. And now in my notes to this point in the game, I put the Sens aren't really playing poorly. I wouldn't really say that. The shots are 17-11, 5 minutes into the second period. It's not that they're playing poorly, it's just they look tired, right? And when you consider those factors, they're out shooting Minnesota, one of the top teams in the league, 17-11, while they look tired, while they have this beat up defense core. So the fact that they're out shooting them by like this, it's kind of remarkable when you think about it. So again, playing poorly isn't really the right way to describe it, but they just look tired, right? So there was a missed pass that would lead to another breakaway for Hughes, and he was stopped. Just breakaway after breakaway, because why not? And I put in my notes, we're going to start seeing this a lot more, because I know I'm a broken record, but the defense, they're all playing way more than what they're used to. You're going to make mistakes when you're tired, and they're getting exposed very badly lately. So yeah, and I put this in my notes as well. Still just not really enough emotion and energy for my liking. They're clearly tired. Well, that's a given. And this is where I put in my notes right here. I'm not liking the body language from Kachuk lately, which I've already explained. So there was a scramble play at the Minnesota net. It stays out. And then Minnesota, they would take a shot that was blocked. And then Allmark makes a big save on Brodin here. So that could have easily went in. That could have been like 4-0 at this point. So listen to this. There was an odd man rush. Is this the one I'm thinking of? Yes, it is. So there was an odd man rush for the Sens, and Pinto gains the zone, and what does he try to do? He goes for a fancy behind the back pass, and he gives it away. Like, it's terrible. It's terrible. Just shoot. Just shoot it. I don't care if it's a weak, like, I'll take a weak shot over a fancy behind the back pass and giving it away. Like, I don't know. You can't help but wonder what goes through their head sometimes, right? Just overthinking, looking for the perfect play, whatever the heck it is. But that looked awful. And I feel like I'm going to say this a lot. I put this in my notes again. Where's the emotion? Where's the fire? Where's the intensity? Like, it's not there. It's just not. So 5.5 minutes left in the period, and this feels like game over. So, um, hang on. Am I skipping something? I feel like I'm skipping something. I don't know. But Hartman would score as well. I didn't put this in my notes apparently. Yeah, Hartman did score at the 15:31 mark from Zuccarello and Kaprizov. This would make it 3-0. This was 5.5 minutes left in the game. This feels like game over. There's nothing going on at all. Yeah, this is when, or no, that was before the Wild made it 3-0. So I said in my notes that it's crazy how I know this team so well. I said in my notes when it was 2-0 that the game was over and the Sens scored 1 goal. So 2-0 was enough to win the game. Ay, ay, ay. I wish I was wrong sometimes. I really do. But anyways, we end off the second period. Sens are down 3-0. It's curtains at that point. No, you're not getting 4 on Wallstead. Forget that. So the shots in the second period end up being 9-8 in favor of the Wild. To this point in the game, it is 22-17 for the Sens overall, but it's deceiving. Don't read into that too much. Oh, here's where I put the yeah. So going back to that 3-0 goal, it was a pass to Hartman, and he has all the time in the world. Everyone skates away from him, and he scores. Like it's too easy. It's just too easy. Like it. You need to see it to believe it. That's the best way I can explain it. Now also at the end of that period, Greg and Hartman would take offsetting minors, and I thought this was funny here. I know I'm kind of backtracking a little bit, but Mike Johnson, the one of the commentators, I love Mike Johnson personally, but he said this is good for Ottawa. Like the 4-on-4 because of the offsetting minors, he said this is good for Ottawa. And when he said that, I'm like, what the heck? What are you talking about? How is this good for Ottawa when Minnesota can put guys on like Hughes, Kaprizov, Boldy? And, again, I wish I could stop saying I'm right, but I was right. Because guess what happens? Zub would take an interference penalty. I know this team too well. It's scary sometimes. It really is scary sometimes. So because Zub takes that penalty, this is now a 4-on-3 power play for the Wild. And in my notes again, I put, they are exhausted. This is blatantly obvious. Okay, I know I backtracked a little bit there, but that was it for the second period. I've already said the shots. They were 9-8 Minnesota in that second period. Oh boy. So we roll into the third period, and it's just kind of I'm just hoping for the same thing, right? Just some kind of emotion, some kind of energy, but we didn't really get that till the end of the game, which I'll talk about in a couple minutes. So, as mentioned, the Wild do start with a power play. The Sens kill it off. But the Sens, they're just so lifeless again. There's nothing going on at all. Stützle has been very quiet, very invisible lately. He did end up getting an assist on the goal, but he was not much of a factor today. I mean, not too many guys were, but he's your star player. I'm not saying it's all on him, obviously, but I just can't help but notice like he's been pretty invisible. So, interesting play here. There was a cross check on Nick Cousins. It doesn't get called. And I put in my notes, this was very similar to the Shabbat injury. The one that broke his arm. Now, Nick Cousins was fine. Maybe it didn't hurt him at all. I don't know, but it was similar, right? But I just find it interesting how, hey, you can break a guy's arm and get away with it. Looking at JT Miller. Anyways, don't want to get off topic too much. But Matt and Paolo would take a puck to the head. He was okay though. Again, rough day for him. You know, the knee on knee earlier, the puck to the head, the goal goes in off his skate. So yeah, he had a bit of a rough day today. Um, this is the one. This is the play right here that really drove me crazier than probably anything. The Sens gained the zone on a 4-on-2. Guess what they did? Guess what they did? They went offside by a mile. It must have been like 15 feet offside. Not even close. Not even close. This could have been a 4-on-2, but you go way offside. Like, their heads are just not in the game. But again, I know, broken record, but you're going to make silly mistakes when you're tired. It does not matter who you are. It does not matter what you're doing. You will make mistakes when you're tired. That's just life, right? And it's so blatantly obvious. So the crowd tries to fire their team up. They start cheering, but there's nothing to cheer about. There's nothing going on in this game at all for the Sens, but I do applaud them for trying. I don't blame the crowd for not being quiet. Like, what is there to cheer about, right? So then, if you think it can't get any worse, Hughes would pass it over to Middleton, and Middleton has nobody near him at all. Nobody. Nobody. You need to see this to believe it. Everyone evacuated, so he walks in completely uncontested, and he scores. No one anywhere near him for a country mile. That's inexcusable. That is inexcusable. You are fighting for a playoff spot, and you're going to let a guy walk in like that from the point? Middleton? His second goal of the season? Come on. Come on. Anyways, Hughes and Eriksson draw the assist. It is 4-0 Minnesota, 12:46 into the third. Obviously, it's game over. So it's like, whatever. We're just playing out the string at this point. But there was a point shot by the Sens. It would hit Batherson and he would score. But obviously it means nothing. It's kind of cool they broke the shutout. Now, you know what's funny? Just something odd that I noticed. But the Red Wings lost to 4-1 to the Rangers 4-1 today. The Red Wings went down 4-0 and then they scored to make it 4-1. The Sens go down 4-0 and they score to make it 4-1. The Red Wings are fighting for a playoff spot and the Sens are fighting for a playoff spot. Just weird things I notice sometimes, right? Anyways, yeah, Batherson scores his 31st of the season from Thompson and Stützle. That's the assist that I mentioned, but it didn't matter. To me, it's cool they broke the shutout, I guess, but whatever. Now, Batherson, he got hurt, sort of, on that play. He went to the dressing room. He would come back to the bench after that. I'm just like, my God. They continue to drop like flies, but that's pretty much it. The only other thing I had in my note right here is they rough it up after the final horn. Oh man, if I were to make a list of things that annoy me that my team does during a game, this is right at the top. Maybe not the very top, but pretty darn close. You show no emotion, no energy, or at least not a whole lot during the entire game, and then we see the most emotion after the final horn when the game is over. What is the point? Why? The game is over. You don't play these guys again until next season. Don't worry about it. You had your chance to show all the energy during the game, but you didn't do it. So that drives me nuts. Again, who knows what goes through the mind of a professional athlete. I am not a professional. I'm just going by based off what I see. But yeah. Anyways, that's pretty much it for my notes. The shots in the third period, again, deceiving. 12-6 in favor of the Sens. 34-23 overall. Don't worry about that. It's deceiving. Anyways, we'll go ahead and take a look at the box score for the Sens. Not really too much to report on here. So Batherson scores the only goal. Stützle draws an assist. Nobody was a plus for forwards. I don't think, well, nobody was a plus in general today. Let's see, look at all the minuses. Oh, it's lovely. Eller and Amadio were -2. Greg, Fogel, Dylan Cousins, Zetterlund, Kachuk were all -1. Time on ice leader was Pinto with 1939. And just checking quickly, as Stutzla did not play as much today. He played 16:31. He played the fourth most for forwards, so that's interesting. The shots, I did mention this. Kachuk had 7 shots, but like, how many of them were good shots, right? Not many. Pinto led the way in blocks with 2, and Nick Cousins led the way in hits with 5. And looking at the defense stats, Thompson had an assist, and Spence and Matt and Paolo were -2. Zub and Sanderson were -1. Ice time leader was Sanderson. He played 24:55 in his return, and I thought he looked pretty okay for the most part. There were a couple of plays there that maybe were questionable, but he missed what was 13 games, so might take some time to get back into the flow of things. Sanderson did lead the way in shots with 3, and he also led in blocks with 3 as well. There were no hits by the defense. Not that that's surprising, but need I say more? 0 hits from the defense tonight. I didn't know that until right now when I checked, but what does that tell you? You look at all the mistakes they're making, and the fact that they had 0 hits, they are exhausted. They are completely gassed. And this just proves it even more. Wow. That's shocking. I mean, not really, but... And if we look at Allmark's save percentage, we're used to this. It's a sub 900, not even close. He stops 19 out of 23 for an 826 save percentage, but I don't know if I blame him on any of the goals, really, because the first one was a fluke. It was a lucky bounce. The second one was a 2-on-0, and the other 2, it was Hartman walking in all alone, uncontested, and then the Middleton one, what the heck's he supposed to do there? I don't blame him on any of the goals, really. I don't. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. I feel like I'm rambling a lot about this one today. Bit of a longer video, but hey, sometimes you just gotta ramble, right? So anyways, that is it. Your final ends up being 4-1, and it does not get any easier for the Sens. Oh, no, no, no. Nope. So the Sens will be right back at it again tomorrow, 5 o'clock p.m. It's a quick turnaround against the Carolina Hurricanes. Yep. So have fun. They've been on a roll. Carolina is a team that could very well win the East. They are 7-3 in their last 10. And, at the end of the day, like, the Sens are on their 5-game homestand. I said I wouldn't be surprised if they lost all 5. They beat Buffalo. So, by the way, I do want to throw this in there. I'm not trying to fake anything here, but, like, I am genuinely excited and happy for Buffalo. They clinched a playoff spot today, finally, for the first time since the year I graduated high school. So, I do want to give a congrats to the Sabres. Like, that arena is going to be hopping on their first game in the playoffs. I cannot wait to see that. And hey, maybe if crazy things happen, maybe the Sens could play against them, right? Who am I kidding? But anyways, yeah, the Sens are going to be right back at it again tomorrow, 5 o'clock p.m. I will not be doing a watch party for this one either, so do want to throw that out there. It is also Easter as well, so happy Easter to everyone. But yeah, this was not... I don't know, again, you look at the stats, and a good amount of shots. They do outshoot them by 11, but how many of them were good shots, right? Just quality over quantity. But the Sens lose. They do get some help because the Red Wings do lose to the Rangers. Columbus and Philadelphia, they both play tonight as well, pretty sure. So we'll wait and see what happens. But as it stands right now, they are still sitting in that second wildcard spot somehow, even though they've been slipping. That's because everyone else has been slipping, funny enough. But anyways, this is kind of a long video, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here, guys. The Sens fall to the Wild by a score of 4-1. And this is going to come right down to the wire. It is insanely close. 4 teams tied with 88 points. Anyways, I'm going to wrap it up here, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and go Sens go.